Who knows about Brexit?
Yeah, quite.
No one's got a fucking clue what Brexit is, yeah? You watch Question Time, it's comedy.
Were you no clearer when Jeremy Corbyn
No,
explained
I ain't got
Labour's
the clue.
policy?
No one knows what it is. It's like this mad riddle that no one knows what it is. With his trotters up, yeah? Where is the geezer? I think he should be held accountable for it. He should be held accountable for it.
It's a valid point. A lot of people do feel.
Right? So what's happened to that David Cameron who called it on? Let's be fair.
I think you're referring to our former Prime Minister.
Yeah, but how comes he can scuttle off? He called all this on.
Yeah.
Yeah?
He has no regrets.
Where is he? He's in Europe, in Nice.
What happens when a well-known actor decides to challenge one of the UK's most influential politicians live on television? Danny Dyer didn't hesitate for a second when he called Keir Starmer a beige disappointment in a suit. And that blunt statement sparked a debate that goes far beyond normal political chatter. Why did his criticism strike a nerve with so many people? And what does it expose about the Labour Party's growing disconnect from its own voters?
I've had criticisms of it, and my whole point in the campaign was that I did have criticisms. I wanted reforms. I thought there was a danger of the thing becoming too free market orientated, and that's what I said during the referendum, but I did say we should remain in it.
Let's break down why this moment has political insiders scrambling. But before we continue, I'd really appreciate a quick favour. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. More than 98% of viewers watch the videos without subscribing. It costs nothing, but it helps us a lot. So, did you tap that subscribe button? Perfect. Thank you. Now let's get back to the video.
That all politicians on Brexit have basically conspired to be incompetent at best and downright reckless at worst.
I voted to remain.
You did?
Yes.
Unequivocally?
Absolutely.
Is your heart really in,
I
though?
went into the polling station, I put my...
But you've never really wanted to be in the European Union, and the country is now heading towards a perilous cliff, and no one really knows what's going to happen when we fall off it.
Well, there's a government that's supposed to be negotiating and spends its time negotiating with itself.
Quite right.
That is the biggest problem.
Did you vote Leave?
How does someone like Danny Dyer, an actor known for his straightforward, no-nonsense attitude, end up expressing what so many people feel but rarely hear spoken out loud in politics? His comments on live TV didn't sound like a celebrity trying to stir attention. There was a sharpness and intention behind his words. Calling Keir Starmer beige and describing him as a disappointment in a suit wasn't just a quick jab. It summed up a feeling many people haven't been able to explain themselves. Dyer's style lands differently because it's unfiltered. Unlike political speeches full of rehearsed talking points, his remarks cut straight through. For working-class viewers, people who've watched promises fade and lived with the effects of weak decision-making, Dyer's raw honesty feels refreshing. He wasn't just mocking Starmer for being dull, he was highlighting what many see as a deeper problem, a lack of real purpose.
So whether I can nick this one as well, I don't know. I would love to, I'm not going to lie. Again, you just got to just stay grounded and keep that ego tucked away, you know what I mean? As you drive yourself mad with these. So I've been around a long time. I've done a lot of work, some good, quite a lot bad. And all of a sudden I'm getting nods and acknowledged for it. I've had a good run this year.
In Starmer's leadership, that shows up in his repeated hesitation to clearly define Labour's position on major issues. Where's the passion? Where's the conviction? Dyer didn't shy away from suggesting that this indecision is exactly why so many voters feel completely disconnected from politics today. And this isn't the first time Dyer has publicly taken aim at political figures. Remember his now famous outburst about Boris Johnson and the chaos surrounding Brexit. He openly called out Johnson and others involved, saying what many people were thinking but didn't say out loud. That moment went viral for the same reasons his criticism of Starmer is now gaining attention, because it felt honest, direct and overdue.
With the TV stars today, you've made it for Prime Minister, you know, for some
You're
people.
a joke.
Yeah, come on. Could a life in politics be
That would
reckoning?
be mad, wouldn't it, eh?
Yeah.
I'm too busy.
Too busy.
You know, they've got no hope, you know, they're angry. And we need to change that somehow. And, you know, how are we going to find these brilliant musicians and actors? You know, the government somehow should maybe get involved in that and start giving kids out of council estates an opportunity, you know, because a lot of disenfranchised young people about at the moment that don't know what to do with their life.
Dyer's humour, mixed with his ability to express what ordinary people are feeling, makes his words hit harder and reach a wider audience. His TV roast wasn't just a joke at Starmer's expense, it reflected a much deeper frustration, one built over years of political delay, empty promises and a lack of real action. Issues like healthcare, rising living costs and a struggling economy are at the top of people's minds, yet politicians like Starmer often seem out of touch with them. Dyer's message connected because it held up a mirror to the growing dissatisfaction people feel. It wasn't just blunt, it was honest.
And what gang you in, when, we need to start, especially the working classes, coming together, being a force and start looking up instead of looking down and punching down. That's what we need to start doing. That's all. But we do need more working class people in politics as well. That's a no-brainer for me. So
Absolutely.
I just think we need to speak out. And, everyone's fighting to saying stuff now, because the world is so divided. The countries, you're either this or you're that.
And honesty in today's political world is rare. This moment isn't only about Starmer. It signals a growing demand for leaders who genuinely listen. Is Danny Dyer simply letting off steam, or has he tapped into something much deeper about the state of the Labour Party? His criticism of Keir Starmer as Tory light highlights a wider concern. Labour is being accused of playing too safe, trying to win over the middle class while drifting away from the working class communities that built the party in the first place. This perception didn't appear out of nowhere. It comes from years of shifting messaging, where bold ideas have slowly been replaced by cautious, technical promises that inspire very little confidence. Dyer's comments cut through Labour's carefully polished image, exposing what many see as a lack of authenticity and motivation. The party was once known for defending working-class people. Its focus was on fair pay, affordable housing, and strong public services. But Dyer's take suggests the party has drifted so far that, on key issues, it's becoming hard to tell it apart from its rivals. Starmer's leadership, often criticised for being too cautious or unclear, has only added to this impression. Phrases like legally distinct disappointment, while funny on the surface, point to something serious: growing frustration with the lack of clear direction. How can a party claim to stand for ordinary people when it seems more concerned with avoiding controversy than presenting real solutions? This sense of disconnection becomes even clearer when compared to Labour's earlier identity. The party once thrived on passionate debates and bold ambitions. Under leaders like Tony Blair or even Jeremy Corbyn, regardless of whether people agreed with them, Labour was never accused of lacking identity or vision. Today there's an emptiness to the brand that even someone outside politics like Dyer feels the need to call out. His straightforward, pub-style delivery enhances the impact, making his words feel more genuine than the carefully scripted lines of political leaders. Dyer's criticism isn't just entertainment. It raises a serious question for Labour. Has the party traded its soul for pragmatism? If its leaders can't clearly explain what they stand for, they won't just lose their working-class supporters, they'll lose their entire purpose. The warning here isn't only for Starmer, it's for anyone who believes playing safe will win back frustrated voters. Danny Dyer's takedown of Keir Starmer, wrapped in humour but driven by real irritation, reveals a hard truth. Labour's bond with its working-class roots is weakening. By calling out the party's bland approach, Dyer voiced what many people have been feeling for a long time. His words were not a random insult. They were the honest frustration of a public that feels ignored. If Labour continues to push aside its traditional supporters in favour of polished, risk-free politics, it risks losing far more than an election. It risks losing its identity altogether.